Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of The Skies of Ace Combat. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today I'm going to be talking a bit about the MiG-21. Now, this is a Cold War era fighter. The MiG-21 was actually a supersonic jet fighter interceptor designed and produced by the Mikoyan Gurevich Design Bureau. The NATO reporting of the MiG-21 is fishbed. I'm really not sure where they came up with that. Development of the MiG-21 would begin in the early 1950s, with the first YE-1 prototype being delivered in 1954. However, it was quickly determined that the original planned engine was underpowered. This would lead to a redesign and a second prototype being built. Now, with that being said, the YE-1 and the YE-2 would feature swept-back wings, but the YE-4 would feature the Delta-style wings that we've come accustomed to with the MiG-21. The YE-4 its maiden voyage was June 16, 1955, and was first shown to the public July of 1956 at the Soviet Aviation Day display. The MiG-21 would become the most produced Soviet plane of the Cold War era. A total of 10,645 MiG-21s were produced in the USSR, with 3,203 aircraft being produced at AZ-30 in Moscow. That's the factory number, by the way. 5,765 being built at Gaz-21 in Gorky, and 1,678 being built at Taz-31 in Talbel. I know I butchered that. I definitely butchered that. Sorry, folks, don't speak Russian. The MiG-21 was also licensed built in other countries such as Czechoslovakia and India. It was also built in China as well, but those were not licensed copies. They were reverse engineered copies that were actually illegally produced by the Chinese. The MiG-21 was designed to be a cheap, rugged, and easy to produce aircraft. While the MiG-21 was designed in the 1950s, it is still in service in many armies today, making the MiG-21 the oldest fighter plane still in service. While the MiG-21 would enter service in 1951, it would actually gain fame during the Vietnam War against American pilots. And that's partially due to tactics on behalf of the American pilots. I'm not going to dive too much into that, but MiG-21s flown by NVA pilots would engage American pilots flying F-104s and F-4s, and those NVA pilots would achieve good aerial kill ratios, especially early in the Vietnam War. In perspective, in 1966, the U.S. claimed that they had downed 6 MiG-21s, while North Vietnam claimed that they'd taken down 7 F-4 Phantoms and 11 F-105 Thunder Chiefs. In 1967, the U.S. Air Force claimed that they downed 21 MiG-21s, while North Vietnam claimed 17 F-105s, 11 F-4s, 2 RF-101s, 1 A-4, 1 F-8, and 3 unidentified types shot down. And the record just continues from there. I didn't really write all the notes down covering the whole record, but there are certain points in the war where it was very one-sided, and it wasn't until the United States got on the ball, changed their rules of engagement on how to deal with MiGs and, well, just enemy aircraft in general, and would begin with the Top Gun school. That's another story in itself. The MiG-21 would see service in just about every war since it entered service and would serve with many armies around the world. The MiG-21 currently serves with Angola, Croatia, Cuba, Egypt, India, North Korea, and Romania, just to name a few of its current operators. The MiG-21 is also seeing many upgrades over its years of service and continues to see many more upgrades. With that being said, I think it's safe to say that the MiG-21 really isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And that being said, from what I understand, production of the MiG-21 has kind of ceased, and so has MiG-21 parts. But with the amount of MiG-21s out there, it's still going to be kind of a cheap budget fighter plane, I think, for many more years yet, because there is warehouses stocked full of parts. Now, the MiG-21 is a variant, the MiG-21 BIS is a variant of the MiG-21. It is crewed by one pilot. It is powered by a Tumensky R-25-300 engine. That's the engine you see here, or at least a part of that engine. This gives the MiG-21 BIS a maximum speed of 1,351 miles per hour. That's 2,175 kilometers per hour for my non-American audience. It has a service ceiling of 57,400 feet. That's 17,500 meters for my non-American audience again. It is armed with a Gish 23L 23mm autocannon. It has 5 hardpoints in total, 4, basically 2 under each wing, and 1 under the fuselage. The ventricle hardpoint is typically reserved, though, for a drop fuel tank, while the wing hardpoints can mount various rockets, missiles, and bombs. It actually does get used quite a bit nowadays as a fighter bomber type plane. But really, that's actually pretty much all I have on the MiG-21. There was a lot of interesting things I found there, such as the kill records and stuff of that nature. But one of the biggest problems now that's plaguing this plane is it just really can't be upgraded anymore. Hence is why production had ceased. And essentially now with planes like the F-16, the F-15, the F-22 Raptor, and so on dominating the skies, the F-21's really starting to lose its feasibility, and probably actually has lost its feasibility a long time ago as an actual feasible fighter, or at least one worth using, outside of the fact that it's a really cheap plane. And, well, as long as you can get air superiority and maintain air superiority, the shortcomings of the MiG-21 doesn't really matter. But basically, you know, even though it does have a radar system and stuff of that nature, you're pretty much going to get locked on and destroyed if you're in one of these things, even before you're going to detect anything on your radar system. So, yeah, there's definitely some shortcomings to this plane in itself. But what can I say? It is Cold War, well, Korean War era technology that's still flying around today. Probably, yeah, I guess you got to tip your hat off to it for sticking around that long. But anyway, folks, I'm going to wrap up my video here about the MiG-21 and the MiG-21 BIS. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Thank you very much for tuning in. And folks, I really appreciate when people like and subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel, and please so kindly share this around, as I am a growing YouTuber. But anyway, folks, once again, thank you very much for tuning in, and have yourself a wonderful day.